can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Thomas Cathy. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already and let us know your prediction for this fight, Floyd Schofield versus Tevin Farmer. Another interesting fight taking place on the 26th of June. Thomas, good to be joined by you as always. It's a bit of an age gap in this fight. Floyd Schofield, 22 years old, undefeated. Tevin Farmer, former world champion, 34 years old. It's an intriguing one, and it's not one I saw coming, to be honest. But yeah, enough of me going on. We'll go to you for your final prediction.
I'll go with Floyd Schofield via close decision. I think it will kind of go how Farmer's last few fights have went, where he makes it a close competitive fight, but he comes up just short. That seems to be the theme of Tevin Farmer's career, unfortunately. Obviously a very well-schooled, skilled fighter, um, with tremendous defensive ability and speed and all that stuff, but um, has always kind of lacked the like the physical talent. He is fast, but he isn't the fastest fighter, and doesn't really isn't really a big puncher as well. I mean, he did put Zabeta down um, in the last fight, but um, typically, he's not really regarded as a big puncher, so he has that against him as well. And I feel like Schofield is a young, explosive fighter. Um, so I do think that Schofield will get the win, but at the same time, I'm not, I don't think we've seen enough from Schofield um, to really know for sure how he would do against a guy like Farmer. He hasn't really fought a guy like Farmer, so I think it's going to be a good test for him, and I think it's going to be a hard fight.
Yeah.
But I see him getting the job done via close decision.
Yeah, for sure. It's intriguing, and I'm not I'm gonna agree with you and say Schofield as well, but I don't know, I'm not too confident here. I think Schofield, he had the odd thing with Stevenson back in February. He's not fought since November, a fight that he got knocked down in. And I think, look, Tevin Farmer, I think, look, although he's lost his last three fights, they've all been close and they've all been against high operators. Um, so I don't know. I think it's a really interesting pick of opponent for Floyd Schofield. If he can come in and stop Farmer or dominate him, then I think that's quite a statement. If you can consider Farmer's just had two very close fights with William Sapeda, it's going to be really impressive if Schofield can deal with him easily. But we'll see. I wanted to ask you a couple of things on Schofield, Thomas. What did you make of what happened against Stevenson? Because they kind of everyone lands in Saudi Arabia. It's part of this the best card of all time. Everyone's very excited, and then I think 3 days before the fight, Schofield was in hospital, but it wasn't ever kind of confirmed why he was in hospital. And there were some people shouting conspiracy. And what did you make of all of that?
Yeah, it was a very bizarre situation and was disappointing that that fight didn't happen. Um, I I do think it was pretty weird how, and I don't want to get accusatory or anything, but I did think it was pretty weird how, he was in the hospital, on a hospital bed, and then like the Monday after, um, like literally the Monday after the fight, he's in the gym training again, and then you have what Shakur Stevenson mentioned um, about him being too big, too heavy coming in. So that could be another factor here is, you know, how much is that weight cut to 135 diminishing him? Um, so yeah, that whole situation was, it's very weird. Obviously, we don't know the whole story. Um, but yeah, it was a pretty bad look on Schofield because before fight week and all that stuff that happened then, Shakur was saying that I would be surprised if he shows up. And then sure enough, he didn't. So, yeah, it's kind of a bad look.
It was very odd, and we're not going to kind of throw accusations around, but it was very odd. And we'll see what Schofield's like this time in the same weight division. We'll see. I just feel like I rate Tevin Farmer as a fighter, but to go from agreeing a fight with Shakur Stevenson, who is arguably the best lightweight in the world, to then fighting Tevin Farmer, who's quite some way off being the best lightweight in the world, I think is very odd. And I feel like some people might say that they knew they weren't ready for Shakur Stevenson and have now gone after a considerably easier opponent who's past his best in Tevin Farmer. But who knows? We'll see. It's an intriguing one. For, Floyd Schofield is still undefeated, 18-0. Thomas, how he's very much a prospect. He's 22 years old. He's still very young. From what you've seen of him, how highly do you rate him? Because we're always talking about who's the next big star in boxing, who's the next big star from America, who's going to be the face of boxing, who's going to be a pay-per-view star. Is Floyd Schofield up there as a contender for you or not so much?
I think the jury's still out on whether or not he's really one of those guys. I think the fact that he was put down in his last fight against you know, a non-notable fighter, really, it was pretty concerning. And he hasn't really, fought anybody or close to the close to the level of competition of a farmer. So it's really hard to like gauge how well he would do against someone like him or someone better. So I think we're going to find out a lot about him in this fight. I actually think that um, this is the right move, like for him to take. I think that him against Shakur, he would have gotten outclassed in all likelihood, and that kind of would have, you know, it definitely probably would have ruined the hype around Schofield. Um, so I think this is a better fight for him to take. And if he gets a win over Tevin, then I think we're going to find out about, how good he really is.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to this one. I really am. I think I'm going with Schofield. I'm agreeing with you, Thomas, but I'm not super confident. I'm really not. We'll see what happens. Thomas, good to be joined by you as always. Thank you for your time, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Likewise, thank you.